All right, folks. So if you watched the previous movie review on the Joker, you know that was the spoiler-free one. And I don't know if this is going to add too much to it, but some of my viewers did ask for a review that included spoilers and some stuff about the actual plot. So I think if you've seen the trailer, it does explain a lot, and it includes the fact that you have Joaquin Phoenix as this 40-something guy working as a clown, doing gigs for, going out of business sales and for hospitals and things like that. And he is routinely just stepped on by people. He's beaten several times in the movie, beaten by children, beaten by a group of Wall Street bankers. And at a certain point, he starts to really snap. His entire world is starting to unravel because the counselor that he had from the city is not really responsive. She can't be responsive because she's overworked. This is the lady that you do see near the beginning, who is essentially, kind of asking the same questions over and over again. So the problem is that he's not actually receiving adequate mental help at all. He's not seeing a professional who is capable of dealing, I guess, with a lot of the deeper psychological problems that he has, or to the root of them. So at a certain point, one of the other employees at the clown firm that he works at does give him a firearm, even though he has a history of mental health problems. And he starts to really unravel because he's been beaten already very severely. He gets reprimanded because he loses a sign in the process. And eventually he ends up getting fired from the place. And also his benefits are getting cut off because the state has cut off all mental health counseling at the time because Gotham is going through some sort of crisis. And in the backdrop of this, Thomas Wayne, the father of Bruce Wayne, is effectively launching a candidacy to be mayor of Gotham City. So the mother of this character, Arthur Fleck, is a woman who has this obsession with Thomas Wayne because she had once been an employee of his. And the big spoiler, okay, so sorry, those of you who have ignored all the warnings, this is the big spoiler. She claims to have had an affair with Thomas Wayne and has told Thomas Wayne for years and years and years that Arthur Fleck is his illegitimate son, meaning effectively that Batman and the Joker would be brothers, separated by several decades of age. It turns out that is sort of ambiguous for a while, but it's revealed that this was kind of a hallucination by Arthur Fleck's mother, and in reality, Thomas Wayne had not necessarily been the real father, although we don't know who the real father is, and it turns out that Arthur Fleck's mother had severe mental health issues of her own, and that she had abused him as a child, and therefore he starts to really snap, even though he's already, you could say, over the edge. He engages in a number of very violent crimes during the course of probably into the second half of the movie and towards the end. He starts to really go off the rails. So you see, Phoenix is, of course, he delivers one of the best performances that you'll ever see. And it's a performance that's colored both by the angst of having this fatherless childhood, this mother who is bedridden and dependent and really is not altogether mentally. In fact, it kind of reminds me of some people in my family, not to get too far into it. He also has this longing for his neighbor, this Sophie character, who I don't know if you can see her in the trailer, but she's the black lady who is a neighbor of his. You can see her right here. And along the way, so he commits one heinous crime, and it becomes very popular because the people that he murders are not very popular among the people of the city, because the city itself is going through some very, very tough conditions. There's a lot of poor people living there, and then the people he ends up victimizing. Yeah, I don't even know if you can call it victimizing, because you'll see the scene if you watch it. But it could be said that in reality it was self-defense, but nobody knew it because nobody was there to see it. This was in Gotham in the 70s. So to the public, he becomes this figure of real resistance to the wealthy, because the wealthy seem to be able to get away with everything. The wealthy seem to be taking more while the poor keep getting less. This is really a commentary on social inequality, right? And I think it's a well-made one. Even if you're I personally am not one of the people who has the biggest axe to grind about wealth inequality at all. I'm fairly libertarian in terms of economics, but this is one of the best movies to talk about it. And it does make the argument that if you continue to kind of encroach on the services of the poor, like Arthur Fleck, the main character, you will eventually get a backlash that is much more fearsome than anything you can imagine, because the weakest of society, when they come together, become stronger than the oppressors. That's the real message of the Joker, even if it's a dark message. And other issues that I would say are the problem with celebrity and being and idolizing people. Murray Franklin, who is Robert De Niro's character over here, he is essentially the mentor, even though they don't know each other. He's the role model for Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix's character of the Joker is this aspiring comedian who can't really make anything of his life because he has really severe mental issues and he can't get over them. So I think that's it. I think that if you watch this movie, you will be compelled. This is really not about the politics, and the character also says several times it's not a political movie. This is a movie that will really sound a warning bell about the way that people behave when they've essentially had long-standing, rankling issues ignored and pushed aside due to scarcity of resources. So, yeah, I think it's an amazing movie. I think that if you haven't watched it yet, you might as well watch it any way you can. If you're not going to watch it, I guess this is the best explanation that I could give. I'm not going to apologize for spoilers because it says below lots of freaking spoilers. So I'll see you later. Have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe to me on BitChute and on Minds.com, as well as Subscribestar. If you want to donate, those are at Chef Leopard, and on Gab at Starscream85.